Hi, my name is Brielle and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking about Insecure Season 4, Episode 3, Lowkey Thankful. So let's get into it. So the episode picks up 2 months before Issa's block party, and we see Lawrence in the mirror practicing this speech he's going to give at his job. Looks like he's going to try to get a promotion. And he's interrupted by Condola's loud screeching iPhone alarm. So obviously Condola's sleeping over, and we see Lawrence jump into bed and they start canoodling, and he asks her like, well, since I don't have any family in LA and you don't have any family in LA, like, why don't we spend Thanksgiving together? And we find out that Condola is planning a Friendsgiving and she wasn't even going to tell Lawrence. And Lawrence is like, well, do you want me to come? And she's like, yeah, like, if you want to. Like, I didn't know you would be into that kind of thing. And Lawrence is like, yeah. But you could tell there was some hesitation in Condola inviting him, kind of inviting him, whatever that was. And obviously, well, if I was Lawrence, it would be a little like, I would be like, wait. So you're going to have this whole Friendsgiving and not even tell me about it? Knowing I had no family in town? But anyway, we know that the two of them are going to spend the holidays together. So next we see Lawrence walking into work, and he has a meeting set up, and this is where he's going to give his pitch for his promotion. And he finds out that the meeting has been pushed back because something unexpected came up. And then jumps to him in the car with Chad, and he's telling Chad that his job is cutting people because someone pulled out, one of the investors pulled out. And basically expressing that he feels kind of stagnant. Like, he likes his job, but he wants to progress, he wants to move forward, he wants to advance. And tells Chad that if it isn't one thing, then it's the next. If it's not the relationship, then it's the job. If it's not the job, then it's the relationship. And Chad reminds him, like, you were a bum last year, so enjoy your money while you have it. And you could tell Lawrence is just like, you know, just feeling a little stuck where he is. And low-key worried if they're cutting people from his job, but he tries to reassure himself that he's black and his job ain't going nowhere. But I'm like, Lawrence. And if this whole pandemic hasn't taught us anything, it is job security is not always guaranteed, okay? So banking on you keeping your job because you black, I don't know, Lawrence. You might want to look for some backup, some plan Bs. I don't know. You ain't hearing from me. That's all I'm saying. So next we see Lawrence walk into a restaurant, and it's the same restaurant Issa's sitting at. And for a second, I'm like, wait, did they plan this? Is this a date? Because we know the two of them have been kind of friendly. But no, we find out that they just bump into each other and this was not planned. So Lawrence is like, hey, Issa, what you doing here? Issa's saying how she's just working on some stuff, getting some things done. And for a couple minutes, the two of them have a nice conversation, quick little joke here, joke there, back and forth. And Condola pops up and she's like, oh, it's so funny. And awkwardly, Lawrence is like, oh, we like talking about movies. And, you know, Issa kind of picks up that it's like really awkward and decides that it's just time for her to go. So she's like, oh yeah, Condola, like, you know, I know this is your spot, but I came here because the music is cool, but I'm about to get out of here. And we hear the guy at the counter like, order for Issa, meatball sub, chai tea. She's like, oh, I got that to go. He like, oh, Issa, meatball sub for here. So Issa get her stuff and she leave out, like, grab the tray and everything and leave. And for a second, like, she catches a glimpse of Condola and Lawrence kissing. And you could tell she was a little molded. And I'm just like, I would have felt some kind of way. Like, that just would have been awkward. Like, it's one thing if y'all date. It's another thing to catch y'all out and kind of to see the PDA. Like, even if Issa doesn't want Lawrence back, like, I felt bad for her. Like, no one deserves to see that. Not in front of your face. So next we see Issa grocery shopping with Molly. And the two of them are just catching up and talking about what they're going to do for Thanksgiving. And Issa tells Molly that she's going to be spending the holidays with her mom this year and her mom's new boyfriend and his stepkids. And she just so not looking forward to it. And Molly's saying that, you know, things with her dad have still been weird after finding out that he cheated on her mom. And I'm like, Molly, that was so long ago. Like, to say that you don't look at your dad the same and your relationship, like, typical Molly, because that's really doing the most. And if your mom has stayed with him and that was years ago, you're doing the most, Molly. But anyway, so they're walking through the aisles, and like I said, they're talking about Thanksgiving, and Molly asks Issa, she's still coming over to get pie, because evidently Issa comes over every year to eat Molly's mom's pie. Issa's like, oh, I'm definitely going to be there. So Molly asks Issa, like, should I invite Andrew over? I've really been thinking about it. And Issa's like, no, it's definitely too soon. And side note, Molly dropped in there that the two of them are exclusive now. okay, Molly with a boyfriend. Look at that. Like, just the other day you were mad, now y'all together. So clearly Molly doing something right. But anyway, Issa's like, no, you shouldn't invite him over. Like, you're gonna scare him off, like typical Molly behavior. And Molly's molded. She's definitely molded, but she doesn't say anything in the moment. And Issa ends up telling her that she saw Condola and Lawrence, because Molly ends up asking. No, she says that she saw Condola and Lawrence and like everything was cool. And Molly's like, I don't know why, like something like how that throuple, I'm glad that throuple is going good. And Issa's like, and I'm like, skirt. You're one to talk about a throuple, because Molly, you were definitely in a throuple, like a full-blown throuple, because the guy you were messing with, Dro, had a whole wife. Not only a wife, but an open marriage. So this was a known throuple. This wasn't just creeping around. This was, you knew he was married. He knew he was married. He knew that you knew he was married. And also the wife knew that you knew. And y'all all went to school together. So you're one to talk about a throuple. But anyway, Issa's just like, nah, like, you know, we're cool. And she bites back with the whole, like, you were just in the throuple, like, with Dro, don't play. And Molly says, oh, at least I wasn't messing with somebody, having sex with somebody for toiletries and weed. Excuse me? Molly, you definitely took that too far. And Issa was like, first of all, whoa, where did that come from? And I'm like, yes, Molly, you crossed every line. Because one, if you're friends, you don't bring up stuff to hurt the other friend. Like, you don't use that type of stuff against one another. Molly, you were definitely wrong. Judgmental much? We already knew you were like that. But this was crossing the line. Strike 3, okay? But anyway, Issa's like, yeah, like, what was up with that? And Molly's like, you came for me. You looked at that situation like coming for each other. That, Molly, something wrong with you. But anyway, they both share and express that like things just haven't been the same between the two of them. Like things have been off and they need to talk, and they decided they're going to talk for Thanksgiving. Now, I felt like talking on Thanksgiving was just like kind of weird because it's a holiday, but I guess it's just the next time they're going to see each other. So boom, the two of them are going to clear the air for on Thanksgiving. And it looks like they're still shopping, which was kind of weird to me, because you're not gonna call me out, put me on Front Street, and we just gonna be cool walking around acting like you never said that. But they're bigger than me. They're better people than me, because I would have been like, okay, I'm about to go. We'll talk later, or no, we're gonna talk about this now. So we see Molly at her mom's house, and she has a stuffed 7-layer dip, and it's Thanksgiving Day. Her mom's in the kitchen preparing. And we just see Molly interacting with her brothers and her brothers' girlfriends. And I think the purpose of this scene was for us to see that Molly is treating her dad different. Like, it's just weird between them, because he has her favorite drink and she says that she's cutting back on sugar. And I'm just like, okay, Molly, you cut back on sugar. All right, you can't drink a drink. But I think that was just the purpose of the scene, just for us to see that it's just like she's acting funny towards him. But meanwhile, we see that Issa and her brother are going to her mom's house for Thanksgiving. And Tasha Mack is her mom, the Tasha Mack. How random is that she playing her mom? I don't have no problem with it, but I was just like, that's random. Okay, hey, Tasha. Apparently, Tasha's boyfriend slipped on some gravy, and she has to go with him to the hospital, get in the ambulance. And she tells Issa and her brother, oh, stay here because we have family coming. And when they pull off, Issa and her brother look at each other and they're like, man, forget them. We about to go get Mexican food and just celebrate Thanksgiving together, which I thought was pretty cool. So the two of them go and get some Mexican food. Meanwhile, we see Lawrence at Condola's house, and did he just walk into the house with a key or something? I mean, they didn't show how he got in, but it looked like Condola was in the kitchen and Lawrence just walked in with some groceries. But whatever. Condola's wearing this scarf and this dress, and for a second I'm like, no, they did not put this nun dress on and this scarf on Condola. What is this look like? But we find out that Condola had her scarf on and she wasn't done doing her hair. And I was like, good. Because for a second, I'm like, why would they put that on Condola? But no, that wasn't her final look. She just had her scarf on, because you know how it is when you're getting ready. You let the hair marinate while you do everything else. And when she leaves off, Lawrence Lawrence tells her that he's going to try to fix her sink. And he's going to try to be a handyman. And when she leaves, he pulls out that handy dandy YouTube. Okay, YouTube University will show you how to do everything. So I wasn't mad at him there. So Condola's Friendsgiving is starting. And all her friends are there, who seem pretty bougie, might I add. And they're in the kitchen, or just getting to know Lawrence. And it just seems a little awkward because, like I said, they're bougie. And I'm not going to say they're judgmental, but they're a little ritzy. And somebody even makes fun of Lawrence's shirt. I'm like, man, what was wrong with Lawrence's shirt? That's the second person that said something about Lawrence's shirt. And I didn't think it was that bad. He tried. They were color coordinated. It was cute. But somebody makes fun of his shirt. And you could just tell that he's just a little taken aback because, you know, her friends are really accomplished. And he's just still trying to find his way. But, you know, it's not weird. They're being really nice. But I did notice that they were just kind of a little different. So at Molly's, her and her mom are setting the table. And her mom asked about some grandkids, which makes Molly show her a picture of Andrew. And her mom is like, oh, this is who you dated. Why didn't you bring him? And shows her brother a picture. Her brother gonna joke and say, oh, is he crazy and rich? Talking about crazy rich Asians. Anyway, so they ain't say anything about him being Asian for real. It seems like they were kind of open to it. And her mom basically tells her, like, you know, why didn't you bring him? Like, if he's for you, he wouldn't have thought you bringing him would be awkward. And, you know, that makes Molly feel a little reassured because it's like, okay, you're right. Like, if this is my man, I can invite him. I thought she could invite him. I know Issa said that would have been scaring him away, but I mean, if y'all dating, it's Thanksgiving, if he wants something good to eat, like, it didn't have to be 20 on 10. How Nolly probably would have made it 20 on 10, but it could have been really casual, like, just come and eat. Like, Thanksgiving, you know, everybody be in your house. It don't really matter, like, who and relations. Just, we here to eat. We here to have a good time. So at the restaurant, Issa's sitting there with her brother, and he asked her, like, you know, how are things going, like, just with Lawrence and Condola? How is that whole situation going? And Issa finally opens up and says, like, I'll be lying if I said that it didn't bother me. Like, it's not that she's jealous, it's just weird seeing the two of them. And when she was dating Lawrence, he didn't have his stuff together. He was like a work in progress. And now to see him with Condola and he has his stuff together, like, it's just different and it's weird. And I completely felt Issa with that. Like, that must be weird to deal with somebody for 5 years and it's like just dating their potential, and then to see them go off and date someone else, and it's like, dang, like, if my issue with you was that you weren't as established or you weren't established yet, to go on and see with someone else and they're reaping those benefits, like, that would make any woman feel some kind of way. You know, not even that she wants him back. Just like, dang, like, why didn't I have this version of you? Like, this is the piece that you were missing in our relationship. And it was nice just to hear Issa open up about it because this whole time she's been trying to play it off. It's cool. I don't mind, whatever. But deep down inside, you knew she was feeling some kind of way. It was only right. So, you know, it was nice hearing her say that and finally admit that she didn't really like what was going on, or not even that she didn't like it, that, you know, she kind of felt some kind of way about that situation. Also, while Issa and her brother were eating, she texted Molly and said that Thanksgiving was going crazy and she wasn't sure what time she's going to come to get the pie at Molly's house. And Molly texts back, do you, girl? Ooh, okay, Molly. So Condola's Friendsgiving is going. You know, they're in the living room. They're eating. They're laughing. And she has some pretty interesting friends with some pretty unique personalities. And one girl was drunk. She drinking. She cracking jokes. Only one laughing, cracking herself up. I'm like, me. Anyway, she having a ball. Don't care who not laughing. She laughing at her jokes, and that's all that matters. And, you know, they're talking, and one of Condola's friends says, like, oh, you should plan our wedding. And Condola says she's not planning any weddings again. And basically hints that she never wants to get married again. And Lawrence kind of looks at her like, you could tell he didn't know that. Lawrence has just been learning a lot about Condola this episode, and it's just been interesting watching, like, she don't want to get married, her friends, like, but anyway. So Lawrence is like, oh, I noticed that your glass is empty. I'm going to go fill it. And inside of the kitchen, you know, the drunk girl comes in and basically gives him the tea, like, I'm glad you met Condola because she was a mess after her wedding, after her divorce. And it's just nice that she's just, you know, dating somebody, having fun, not taking nothing serious. Like, that lady really spilled the tea. She said stuff that she shouldn't have even said. And I'm going to blame it on the alcohol. Because even if that is what Condola is doing, you shouldn't have told the person that she's doing it with. You shouldn't have told him that. But he was molded. He was definitely molded. He kept his cool, but he was molded. He just was like, huh. And I'm like, girl, no more alcohol for you because you're talking way too much. Like, this Friendsgiving just turned out to be a disaster because Lawrence is finding out stuff that he just did not need to know. So back at Molly's, this is, you know, after she sent the text to Issa telling Issa to do her family's playing Taboo. And, you know, they put Molly on the team with her dad. And all of a sudden, like, Molly basically tries to pull out the game saying that she'll just keep score. And her brother pulls her to the side and basically just like, what's up with you? Like, you're acting weird. Like, ever since finding out the information about dad, you just been on some funny type stuff. And Molly's like, I can't pretend. And I look at him different. Which, Molly, grow up. And her brother kind of says the same thing. Like, get over it. Like, you're more affected by this. Like, you're more upset about this than mom was. She's gotten over it. Like, men F up. He say, you know, men mess up. And he's like, niggas mess up. And Molly gonna say, oh, don't call dad a nigga. He said, well, he is. Like, people mess up. And mom has gotten over it. They're stronger than ever. Why are you focused on the negative? And that's really Molly's personality. She always focuses on the negative. So it doesn't surprise me that, you know, this is how she's handling this issue. Instead of saying dad messed up, it is what it is, you got to go ahead and treat your dad funny. Can't drink the tea he bought, which is your favorite tea. Can't play taboo on the same team with him. Like, you're doing the absolute most. But again, this is Molly. Why am I acting like I'm surprised? I'm not surprised. This is just normal Molly antics. So Friendsgiving is over at Condola's. Thank the Lord. I know Lawrence was happy. But the two of them in the kitchen cleaning up. And he just goes ahead and asks Condola, like, do you still have feelings for your ex? And she's like, what? And Lawrence tells her, like, you know, your friend told me that, you know, we're basically just F buddies. Lawrence, she did not tell you that, but whatever. That's how you heard. That's how you interpreted it. Okay, keep going. You trying to get the tea out of her too. So he's like, yeah, he said that we're F buddies. You know, like, what's going on? Like, I found that you don't want to get married again. Like, you know, basically, like, what's up between the two of us? Like, you getting over him? And Condola's like, first of all, my friend was drunk. She's crazy. You can't believe nothing she says. And two, you have some nerve asking about exes. Like, come on. I saw you and Issa. Like, the inside jokes, the laughing. Like, has she not cheated on you? Would the two of y'all still be together? And Lawrence just kind of sits back thinking, like, and it had me thinking too, would they have been together? But my answer would be no, because it wasn't just that Issa cheated on Lawrence. Yeah, that's why Lawrence left her alone. But Issa was kind of over the relationship. Like, she was feeling Daniel because Daniel offered what Lawrence wasn't offering. Like, she was a little over the relationship. And I don't know, had she not cheated, I don't think she would have been with him. I think when Issa was trying to get back with Lawrence, it just was because he was familiar. They were dating for so long. It felt like what she should do, but not necessarily what she wanted to do. I don't know. That's just me. Y'all could drop in the comments and answer that too. Do you guys think they still would have been together? I'm not sure. So, and I don't know what's going to happen, you know, with Condola and Lawrence, because right now they just don't seem like they're on the same page. Like, it seems like Lawrence is into Condola way more than she's into her, way more than she's into him. And also, like, with Condola asking Lawrence about Issa, does Lawrence still have feelings for Issa? I don't know. Meanwhile, Issa's dropping her brother off, and, you know, her brother's basically talking like, you know, he's tired of doing what he should do. He's tired of, like, pretending to be something for other people, and he only doing what he want to do. And you can kind of tell he wasn't speaking directly to Issa about Molly, but, you know, that's what Issa needed to hear. And we see her text Molly and say that she's not coming to get the pie. Now, I think that Issa should have went and got the pie. If it's something you do every year, maybe she was just trying to avoid a conversation with Molly, and it wasn't necessarily about getting the pie. But just the simple fact that we want to get that pie, Issa, the way you were hyping that pie up, you should have just went just because it's like, it's your friend, that's her family. Just go over there, get the pie, say hi. But I really think that Issa was trying to avoid the conversation with Molly, which makes me understand why she said no. And ultimately, if she didn't want to go, she just shouldn't go. Because, you know, sometimes you do stuff just because you say you're going to do it and just because you feel like you should do it. Like, if you don't want to do it, you're right, don't do it. So Issa said, I'm not going. And we see Molly receiving the text, and she's kind of disappointed, but it kind of is what it is. And, you know, that's that between them two. We don't know what's going to happen, but, you know. So Lawrence is back at home, and he's on the couch looking through his Insta stories. And throughout the episode, they were, like, showing Kelly and Tiffany's Insta stories, just like what they were doing on Thanksgiving. And Kelly was having a ball. Her aunts were in there arm wrestling, eating, drinking. Like, Kelly's Thanksgiving was turned up. And Tiffany's Instagram was cute. Her and her husband, you know, she was asleep on the couch. They ate. It was nice. It was cute. And we see him come across Issa's story. And, you know, it's Issa obviously in the Mexican restaurant with her brother. And the episode ends with him sending her the laughing emoji. And I'm like, oh, is love still in the air? Unresolved feelings? Do you still like her? Is there a chance they might get back together? I don't know. It's just a reply to the story. But after everything that's happened in this episode, I'm like, you know, sometimes a reply to a story is like, it's not saying something, but it's saying something. Like, it's indirect, but it's directly saying something. You want to be seen. You want some attention. Or maybe I'm overthinking it, and it's not like that at all. Maybe Lawrence doesn't want Issa back. But I'm like, because this leads to conversation. And conversation might lead to y'all hanging out. And hanging out might lead to y'all getting back together. I don't know. But I don't want them to get back together. Am I the only one? Like, I want Issa to flourish without him. It's been years. You're trying to find your way. You're happy. Like, leave Lawrence where Lawrence is. Like, come on, leave him in the past. Leave him in the past. But we'll see. That was episode 3. Thank you for watching my review. I will be back next week